that's what I said. I got like just like a couple of friends that's going through that. I gotta stay strong. I gotta provide. I gotta protect. I gotta do all that. But who's doing that for us? At that same standpoint, and then like that whole just cliche statement, I'm okay. Well, we not okay.
Right.
But then we can't acknowledge that to those people that we're doing all the we can't acknowledge it to the people that the reason why we're not okay for. I mean, so if I'm busting my ass because I'm trying to make sure that my family's taken care of and all that stuff like that, but I know like damn I ain't got the money for the insurance this month, right? I can't go as a man, my egos will get in the way. So I can't go to my girl and be like, damn, I ain't got the money for that. You should be able to,
Right.
but do they create that safe space for you to do that without judgment? Because even if I had a woman that would be like, I gotta be, don't worry about it, I'm still gonna feel like I'm a failure because I wasn't able to hold my part down for that standpoint.
I think the bigger question, because you do hear a lot of men talk about not feeling like they have that safe space. But a big thing for me when I've held this discussion with other men is, who are you surrounding yourself with that doesn't allow you that safe space? Like, I think that that's something that should be talked about more so. Like, as far as you feeling like a failure, if your woman is to support you and say, I got it or whatever, I think it's an ego thing.
It could be an ego thing. More likely, it probably is for most men. But just like in any relationships, you have past trauma. So it might not be you, the person that doesn't create that safe space. It's just a situation where I needed safe space before and didn't receive it. Because in most arguments, if a man is vulnerable, if a person is vulnerable, but if both vulnerable and they share something intimate with you, in most arguments, the first thing they get bored up is that's why that da da da. That's they are attacked by what they share. So then we shut down and we become people that we don't want to be, but we become people we need to be to survive. So now I'm not sharing things with you. Now I'm just keeping everything to myself. I saw Shaq say one time, he said, I don't share nothing with nobody.
And then too, for me, it just feels like that's a conversation with your partner. And if your partner is doing that, then your partner's not in the right. But I also want to pose a question to people of, is your partner responsible for your trauma? Like, I think your partner should be aware of your trauma if you chose to share that, and I think your partner should be empathetic and considerate of your trauma, but should she or he be punished for your trauma? Because if your trauma response is, I'm shutting down and I'm not saying anything, but I'm here, like, just take it for myself, I'm very attentive to my partner's emotions and my partner's feelings, especially when it comes to a man, a black man at that, for me. And it's just because I know how much black men carry. I know that is difficult for them. So if I have a partner, I want to love him enough where he knows that I got his back and he doesn't have to feel that way and that he can talk to me. But if you choose not to talk to me after I'm double, quadruple asking you and letting you know that I am supportive, I do care about how you feel, I do care about what's on your shoulders and what's on your back, and you're choosing, oh, I'm not going to say that, then I think that becomes somewhere where the man has to hold himself accountable.
Yeah, I agree. If you do hold yourself accountable, your person is not like, and in the same situation, vice versa. When you get into a relationship with a woman and she compares you to her ex, like we shouldn't be judged upon that in the same standpoint, right? But it can go, we can expand that past that. It could be friends, it could be people that you just entrust. You don't gotta be in an intimate relationship with somebody for them to have to create that safe space for you. Because like I said, most arguments, somebody throw what you share with them back in your face because they're intentionally trying to hurt you, right? Yeah. So, but yeah, taking accountability for your traumas, bringing it to the forefront, letting somebody know what you went through, telling them that you're working on stuff. You gotta be totally transparent and honest with yourself, and then not holding that person. Like, I'm not telling you this for you to fix me. I'm telling you this so you can understand me.
I like that.
So then you understand what I'm going through. So when things happen, one, you don't take it personally upon yourself, because one thing that black men face all the time, we're hurt, we're upset. Women take on our pain, and now we're trying to make sure you're cool. When you just took everything, like, you didn't give my moment. That's the safe space. Safe space is not always about like, am I comfortable enough to say this without me being judged or them attack me about it or something. Like, won't you just grow up and get over it? The safe space is being, am I heard? Am I seen? Am I validated? Is this person going to let me have my moment and not be like, yeah, I know what you're going through because I went through. Yes, empathy is one thing, but when you take my moment from me and be like, yeah, that happened to me too, and I felt like that. You're not hearing me out. You almost comparing our traumas.
Yeah.
Saying that I got over it. Why can't you get over it? Or it's not that big of a deal because when I had went through something more worse than that, that's the safe space. Like man, like then we shut down because then it become an emotional tick for tat conversation. And I didn't bring it to you for that. I brought it to you so you can hear me out. And I believe my own opinion that the correct response is how can I support you?
I think that's a great response. I do think that's a great response. I think it goes. I've been in a situation like that before, and it doesn't feel good because you don't feel heard when y'all are kind of like competing with the stories of trauma. Like, you know, so if it's a moment that I think that's why I feel that communication plays a big role because sometimes you and your partner are two different people. Individuality is important, and how you process things or how I process things might be differently. And I think that we have to spend more time communicating and teaching each other. So I think at a point, we've gotten past that. Like, I've already told you what I need from you to feel that you are hearing me and not competing with me. Now, are you doing it? Because if you've already explained this to your partner and you all have, decided what your communication is going to be, say for example, again, I've been through that before and I had already communicated like what I needed back to feel that I was being heard or so. And my partner did the same thing. However, when we get in the heat of the moment of the conversation, we kind of forget. So I think pause moments are important to say, you know what, this is my safe word when we having this conversation. We're both escalated, we're both heated. This is my safe word. Stop. So that I can get you to understand that you're not hearing me, or so that you can get me to understand that you are not hearing me. And we started doing that for a while and it actually worked out. So I think communication, when two people are in the same place, like, do we want this to work? Like, I think once you get there, I think you kind of...
Yeah, I mean, communication is key, right? But in most therapeutic situations, if you deal with somebody, their main suggestion is if y'all get into an argument is to have that cool down period because emotions are still intense. Y'all like it's supposed to be a cool down period that lasts no more than 24 hours because then after 24 hours people just like I don't care no more and I don't care to discuss this anymore and you want to carry those same anger feelings or whatever emotions you have still even if you don't talk about it. But yeah, what you said, like when you come to the table and you tell somebody what you need out of this, right? Not your expectations, not your ultimatums, not your requirements. It's just this is what I need for me. Then you have to open it up to them, and that person has to be honest. Are they willing to give it to you? Are they willing to accept it? A big thing. Most relationships, shared location is a thing. Like people want location. For some men, I don't want to be monitored. I don't want to be tracked. And for some women, I want your location because I want to make sure you're doing exactly what you're saying you're doing.
I can't relate.
Right?
I'm on that one because I don't want to be tracked either.
I don't want to be tracked. I don't monitor. You don't trust me. I'm not going to give you my location because of for that, right? And most women are like, oh, I just want your locations. I want to make sure you're safe. I want to make sure that if something happened, I heard on the news that it is never that. As much as you probably want to justify it, but at the same point, that raises another red flag. Like, if you don't trust me to be out of your presence and out of your sight and not worry about what I'm doing or where I'm at, then we don't need to be in a relationship.
That's a fact.
It don't take an incident. It don't take a trauma situation relationship for you to have to end it. Most people just hold on and wait. It could be a whole situation where, oh, you done saw this and this and that, or you heard this and this and that, or you saw with your own eyes this and that, but you still want to stick around because you want them to admit to that before you actually walk away. How many people stayed in relationships because they wanted that person to say they were going to go, like, and you got all the information already. A lot of people just stay after that situation too. But like I said,
you mean even if they're not willing to forgive situations, they continue to stay because you want somebody to admit that is control.
Yeah, it is not yet. It's just control is control, and then it's being like, I want to hold on to this person so bad because I don't want to let them go.
I don't want anybody else to have them.
But you're holding on to that person for the wrong reason.
But then as soon as if someone else like you are holding on to that person for the wrong reason, because then it's somebody, and that's selfish, because if somebody else comes along, it's almost like you don't want to be alone. So you don't really want to be with this person, but you're just holding on to them for your comfort. But if somebody else comes around that you're like, okay, this could really work, I could really be with this person, then you're gonna bounce on that person when they sitting there waiting on you to be able to work it out with them, and that's wrong.
Yeah, but people identify this way early in a relationship. They just waiting for that moment to have the reason to walk away, or the reason to be like, oh, okay, they left me, or something like that, right?
You know what I've learned with that though? You don't stay and you don't wait. Like I think that people, again, I'm just very big on thinking that I believe that we live in delusion. I don't personally live in delusion because I feel empowered by my ability to be happy and comfortable within myself and by myself. That actually it's like a trauma response. Like, it protects me. So it's healthy, and then it's also unhealthy. I will walk away. Now, it might take me a while, but I think that people see the red flags long before they accept the red flags, and it's connected to a much deeper issue. For example, if I meet somebody or whatever the case may be, and I'm like, oh, he's a little friendly, you know what I'm saying? But he's cool. Like, I'm talking to him every day. We hanging every day. We have a good vibe. But I do see you a little friendly. You might be a cheater or whatever the case may be. And then I continue to deal with that situation. It's not that I didn't see that you were this person, but maybe I'm battling something deeper within myself of, dang, we got such a good vibe. I done been by myself all this time. Let me keep talking to this person or whatever. But I already knew this about this person. So, if that makes sense.
No, it does make sense. And that's one of my viewpoints in relationships. It's all at the beginning is always fun. You know what I mean? The beginning is always fun, right? And this is before you even become a thing. Like he and she, right? It's before that, right? Because like you said, all these cool hangs out like that. Oh, I met her at this club. We had a good conversation, stuff like that. But as soon as you change the dynamics of that relationship, and it starts to go into, are they a good person in that relationship with? The guy that was cool and funny, now all of a sudden he don't take nothing serious. The girl that you met in the club because she liked to go out and socialize, now she's just out there in the streets. Because now you're looking at somebody that's representing you together in the same standpoint, or somebody that you're looking at, like, how serious can this go? Have we ever had a serious conversation, or do they go from a jokey person to just a joke? So it's like over analyzing the situation. But like you said, that's why people identify red flags. They just don't accept them, like that. But then also, do you bring your past traumas about past relationships into judging how this one could possibly be? Because how long did it take you to get to that point where you were like, I'm okay with being by myself because I'm not willing to accept what happened to me in the past? And then how much is that going to affect you if you're dealing with somebody at the beginning and y'all might have a moment of miscommunication that you start automatically assuming that and like, I'd rather walk away than discuss this, or even tell that person the reason why this is bothering me. It might not be a big thing to you, but I had past situations where it was, and I really want this to work out, and I don't want to assume this about this incident. So can we discuss it? That's growth.
Yeah.
That's maturity. That's not being strong. When I'm like, because walking away ain't always strong, and neither is staying.
Exactly.
But communication in a relationship is key for it to work.
Right. So I think the point is, I'm willing to discuss, but there's a lot of things that comes with that. Like, what is your response? Like, that's just like, okay, say two people meeting together or whatever. One person wants children and the other person doesn't want children, right? You've already told me from the beginning that you don't want children, or I've already told you, but we like this vibe. We like what we keep going. So now we get into the level of, okay, where are we going from this? Well, 3 months ago when we were having fun, you said you didn't want kids. I told you that I did want kids. Can we talk about that now that we're going to a higher level of commitment? Okay, you still don't want kids. Why do I stay? Yes, we've gained a closer bond, and these, we've gotten tighter and all of those things, but the fact still remains that this is something that doesn't resonate with me, and this is something that doesn't resonate with you, so why would I stay? So when I say I would walk away, yeah, I'll walk away. Now, when you said something about bringing the past trauma into the new relationship, I feel like there's a balance to that, because at the end of the day, we can't be dummies. Like, we can't be fools. You learn from your past experiences, but there's a point where it can become toxic. So you can have your past traumas and your past experiences because that's who shaped you and that's what built you. But don't punish your partner for your past traumas. And so I think that's very important when you said have the discussion of, hey, just to open up, give you a little transparency. I went through this, before. Oh, that's a scary thing to do, though.
It is, but that's what comes with growth and maturity, and that's why you got to make sure you meet that right person, because you can scare somebody off. You start trauma dumping everything on them. You definitely can run somebody off, but if you're looking at that next level, and then that's another conversation. When in that relationship, right, get to know each other, do you bring that up? Because if you bring it up too early, you scare somebody off. If you bring it up too late, then it's too late.
And do you bring it up as you go?
Yeah, it's a conversation that you have. Like, but I think the appropriate time is like right when y'all see this is somebody I enjoy being with all the time. There's somebody I want to see. I want to see where this can go. That uncomfortable conversation should be had, because then you need to put your cards on the table before you take that one. Because then it's not about like if something happens like, well, you said you was willing to accept this and you were cool with it, because we're human beings, but it is something that's already known on the table. That's like, and like I said, that's any situation. You could be about to be a roommate with somebody. Oh, this is my girlfriend. I knew for forever. But did y'all ever live together to actually know her, how she gets around and stuff like that? Or, or am I going to visit with my friends? Or did you ever see their initiative in anything else before you do that? It's a great thing. Uncomfortable conversations are uncomfortable until they're being had, and then you can have a true judgment about, like, is this the person I want to pursue this thing with?
Exactly.
Because you can't, in those situations, I believe it has to be more rational thought than emotional feelings.
That's true.
Because you're not going to set yourself up to get hurt, and it'd be wrong for you to put the person in a situation that they wasn't ready to deal with. But do you come to the table already healed? Is complete healness a thing?
It's not.
It's not a thing.
Because things are always happening. Like, things are always happening. No one is ever completely healed. You heal as you go. You never know, that person could come in and heal you.
They could come in and they could come in and heal you unconsciously without you knowing it.
Exactly.
You probably are always there for somebody else, but that one person, hey, easy, man. So did you eat today? When I got eggs, I'm like, what the hell? They trying to say I'm a big bag, but it was more of a like, damn, they just care to make sure that I'm taking care of.
Exactly.
Did you eat today? Oh, here's a little cash. I had to go get something to eat.
And you could be with somebody, being with them, they don't even do those things. So.
Or a man bringing a woman flowers, like.
Exactly.
Like, what did you do, or what are these for? Why can't you just receive flowers?
Who this for?
Why can't you just receive flowers because I thought about you, right? And just that simple act of just being thought about.
What do you think that people have been through so much trauma, though? If somebody comes in and they're doing something nice for you, like, and you're not used to that your trauma does start to get triggered because you're like, you trying to manipulate me?
Yeah,
like,
you trying to manipulate me, or you did something wrong, you trying to throw my sin off, but that's just the people that we're used to dealing with. And now that we get this situation, and like I said, this can stem into a different situation. You move from up north to down south, and you get all this southern hospitality, but up north, like, somebody being that close to me, like, what you want? What are you trying to get out of me? So traumas is always going to be there, but like you said, they shape us, they give us that, okay, I can't be dumb in this situation because it happened before. This guy loading a gun, that don't mean he gonna shoot me. Yeah, he gonna shoot something. It's like, but it's just that part of when you deal with the things yourself instead of trying to have somebody else. It's amazing to have somebody come into your life that can help you unconsciously get past those traumas.
Yeah.
Like, somebody just being nice to you, just be nice to you. And then even going into our field, we got kids that never was treated right by adults. Like that. So when they get an adult that's like treating, like, I got asked that so many times, like, why are you doing that? Because that's how it should be. And most situations, we dealing with people that have traumas that never faced them or dealt with them, and now they're not willing to accept when something positive happens to them.
So how does a man ensure that he gets a safe space in his partner?
It's a tough question. I think it's different for all men. Personally, for myself, feeling that person genuinely who they are and not putting that aspect about, okay, this is my girlfriend, wife, or whatever the case may be like that. Just knowing that person is a human being. I mean, that's what should be the attraction part. Yes, physical attraction is everyone's thing. Anybody that says that it's not a thing in a relationship, they're not telling the truth, right? And I ain't gonna call y'all liars, but y'all ain't telling the truth.
They ain't telling the truth. They ain't telling the truth.
But
you was not trying to roll over the Chewbacca.
Yeah, right? But once you get that past that part, how is this person as a human being? Like, not how much do they treat me, but how do they treat their kids? What's their interaction with their family? How are they with their friends? You know, and observing that standpoint, and then seeing what they do for you just because they want to do it for you, not because I did something for them or anything like that, right? So then you become comfortable with that person to know that okay, I could share myself with them and feel completely vulnerable, knowing that my business ain't gonna be told, knowing that they won't throw it against me, and then in most parts they understand me. If I come home upset or I'm angry, because men deal with a lot of stuff, and if I come home and I'm just not the same person, are you gonna get upset that my mood changed?
Are you even gonna notice?
Yeah. Are you gonna notice? And then you're gonna get upset, and then are you gonna make that like the time for you to make me feel like, damn, I'm hurting now. I gotta push my emotions to the side because I gotta make her feel better because of how I came in the house. You know, so finding that safe place, I think for me is when it just happens organically and natural. It's a difference between being concerned and prying. If, if I tell you I'm okay, and you know I'm not okay, you don't have to get in my face like, I know you're lying, something bothering you, something going on, what's going on, now, because now you're being pestering. Because if I told you I'm okay, then that's what I can give to you right now in the moment. If you know I'm not okay, then just say, okay, well, if something is bothering you because you don't look the same, just know that I'm here. And then do something nice. Show that your words come with actions. Do something nice to me. You know, or hey, like, you know, you want to go out, you want to do this, or, you know, did you eat? Did you, you know, show that you are concerned for me as a person and not so much worried about what I'm going through.
Do you think that it starts off with that person being like a safe person for you, and then it changes? Like, what happens if you and your person start off and you are that safe person for your person, but then over time, of the years of dating or whatever, that changes? Like, do you think that that's something that should we be looking at, whether we should be in a relationship or not? Because I think that I started off as a safe person before, and then once, you know, in the beginning, the relationship seemed like they would start off as your person is a safe person. Y'all wouldn't even get in a relationship if it wasn't. And then if that changes over time, should we be evaluating, or are we going to continue to communicate to have that understanding of like, listen, you started off as my safe person, but now you don't feel that way.
And can't talk for everybody, but the thing that would change me in that situation is how you are with me. Like I said, I could come in as a safe person, but a lot of conversations that I've heard about or had is about like, I didn't want to share it with you because of X, Y, and Z. And it's nothing that I did, but then you made me start feeling like, man, if you didn't want to share with me, am I sharing too much? You know, it's like, if you like, oh, I didn't want to be a burden on you by sharing my emotions with you. Damn, do you feel like I'm a burden on you if I share my emotions with you? Because
could be, people could be though, and that's what happened. Like, because I think women experience the same thing, and we know that a man wants us to be his safe space if we're going to be together. And then what ended up, this is just my personal experience, what ended up happening was I'm trying to be everything that this man needs me to be so that I could take some of this weight off of his shoulders. And so now every day or he's coming in, he's feeling whatever he's feeling, he's going through whatever he's going. It became to a point where I was silenced because I have to be a woman and I have to make sure I'm being his safe space. But then when I'm trying to, I think I started getting tired because I'm like, well, damn, like I am being a safe space for you. You're trauma dumping. That's fine. Like I want you to feel safe doing that. But now it's gotten to a point where it's an imbalance where when I start telling you, you know, well, I've had a long day, this, that happened, you're not even hearing me because now you finna go into this battle of your feelings because you're so used to me being quiet and just allowing you to give all of that to me.
I could agree with that. And what did you just say about men wanting to be the safe space for women? I think it's vice versa. We want to be protectors. We want to be valued by women. We want to be felt like we're wanted in that situation. This safe space I provide for you is who I am to you. But I don't want you to feel like, oh, okay, you go to something, you always come to me, because that's what you got girlfriends for most of the time, you know. So it's good for that, because me personally, I'm not like you want to gossip, you want to tell you like that. You go to your girlfriends for that. I don't want to hear that person like from my state from, right?
Yeah.
But when we in the house, I want you to feel protected. I want you to feel like he got me. And that can be from old mental men thinking, like I gotta make sure I provide, protect, and take care of that person, right? And that's what I want you to get out of me. But I think men want that safe space from women. That's why your home is called your safe haven, right? So you want to be able to come home, and you want to be able to come home to, and this can be for both. You want to be able to come home to somebody that, regardless of everything I'm going through, as soon as I see this person, I hear this person's voice, I'm at ease. I'm at ease about everything. So maybe what I'm going through out there don't even matter because I'm not going to bring it through my doorway. Most men sit in their driveway before they enter their door because they're going through whatever they need to go through because they have to present themselves a certain way when they walk through that door. And they expect that. When you don't provide that safety that I get when I come out door, then that's when it becomes a problem. It don't gotta be, oh, is she somebody I can come to and dump all my issues on her today. When I come around her, I don't feel those issues at the end of the day.
Because you got peace at home.
It's peace at home. And when you don't got it out in the streets and you don't got it at home, you start to look for it in other things.
Yeah.
And this is the part that draws us back to our conversation about men not having that space. And now that's when we go through anger issues. That's when we go through emotional depression. That's when we start to turn into the bottle, the smoking the weed. Like, we're trying to find an escape because we don't have it anywhere else. And then that drives issues in our relationships because now I'm overly indulgent in this thing, which it should be the red flag, like something's going on. He don't have bad habits just to have bad habits. He got substance issues. He got these issues where he feels that he can't come in the house no more because now I can't come in the house because I don't feel safe. But to you, it's like he's just always out in the streets. Oh, he drinks and smokes so much. He got substance abuse problems. Oh, I got emotional problems I'm dealing with, and I'm trying to escape these things because I can't get it out here and I can't get it in here. So now I'm just escaping my reality by just self-medicating. And that's when things get construed, but that's when communication comes to standpoint. And men don't have that open space because we're men, masculine, strong, emotionless. They're not supposed to feel these things. Man, we're a human being first. And the crazy thing about it is that women still think that way about us as things. Y'all say up and down that, oh, I want you to be open, I want you to be in touch with your feelings, but then we touching our feelings, then we pussy and we weak. And that's what most women, nobody want, and no woman wants a weak man. But what's the difference between weakness and then masculine vulnerability? And that's what we're talking about, which I think.